What is going on? This is my Leafeon deck. It's been doing super well for me. I obviously am using Inteleon engine to help power up my Leafeon and get all the things I need into play, like the Galar Mines or the boss's orders to obviously pick and choose who I want to try to knock out. Now, couple slight differences from like a main Inteleon list. One, I do use a Zigzagoon strictly for just pinging and helping to knock out an opponent's VMAX because sometimes we're gonna do like 280 damage and we need a few more pings to be able to knock out your opponent's Pokemon. So either with the Inteleon Quick Shooting or with the Galarian Zigzagoon, we can go ahead and finish knocking out my opponent's VMAX for a one-hit KO. Now, the reason why I love Leafeon V is because of the ability Greening Cells. Obviously, for those that are familiar with Leafeon, you can use that to basically put a grass energy on any Pokemon that you need. So I can get two Leafeons ready to roll pretty quickly. Aside from that, the list is pretty straightforward, pretty similar to a lot of other Leafeon lists. We do use one Fan of Waves. I feel like it comes in handy just to try to stall a little bit versus a Mew deck. And aside from that, we do just use one Scoop Up Net. We're using two Scoop Up Nets, but I did cut that for the Fan of Waves. And then we do have a Tool Scrapper as well as Tool Jammer in the deck just to give us a couple different ways to like get rid of our opponent's air balloons or big charms or anything like that. And for energy, we use 9 total energy. We use 4 capture energy and 5 grass energy. I did cut a grass energy. I was running 6 and added a Raihan just because I really like Raihans. So I can grab any sort of item card or basically any card that I would need and then can attach an energy with it as well. So that's very good. We just with the Raihan card, if we have an energy in hand, we can go ahead and put 2 extra energies into play. So that definitely does come in handy throughout the match. Now, like I said, this is my favorite Leafeon build. I've messed with Leafeon a lot because I'm really looking forward to the Leafeon card that's coming up with the new V Stars. So that should be dropping, I believe, at the end of the month. So yeah, let's go ahead and dive into it. So getting into game number 1 here, this is going to be a matchup versus Mew VMAX. One of the more difficult matchups for Leafeon, just because there is no retreat cost to the Mew, so I can't really use Galar Mine to its full effect. So we're going to try to get one powered up as quickly as possible, not fall into a Meloetta on turn 2, and then hopefully be able to maybe boss a couple of the Genesects on the bench in order to get some prizes that way. So we do get the energy right away and attach it to the Leafeon, and then we have the Leafeon VMAX in hand as well as an energy in my hand as well. So we can get some damage on turn 2 here. So there's a possibility that they may knock out my Sobble. If they do, I mean, it's not the end of the world because we have a Marnie in hand. But we should be all right to get the Galar Mine into play and also get that energy attached to my Leafeon without doing any extra damage from the old cemetery that my opponent dropped. So our opponent didn't have anything to use the Meloetta, which is great for me. They go ahead and just attach, and then we're going to go ahead and retreat and get a Leafeon VMAX as well as Leafeon into play. And then we should just Marnie it after we put the Galar Mine down. So we are going to at least get 120 damage to the Mew. We do have a Evolution Incense, a Sobble, and Energy Search, so things are looking great for me for next turn because we're going to be able to get an energy on the Leafeon, and then we can also get another Drizzile into play in order to get like a boss or like a research or Marnie or anything that we might need. So I think I'm going to just grab, because I know I have a Sobble next turn, so I believe I'm just going to go ahead and grab a Fan of Waves, and then we're going to put one of their energies back into their deck, hopefully preventing them from being able to attack next turn. So we're just going to do 120. We know that with the Mew V, we have them basically just one-shot. We can't with that Fusion Strike energy. The reason why, one of the many reasons why Mew is so good is because they have the Fusion Strike energy, and you can't ping them with Zigzagoon or with Inteleon Quick Shooting because it just protects them. It's one of a million things that make Mew so good. So they did flip a head on the Chromatic. Not certain what they're going to grab here. They may just grab like another Genesect or something. just to try to get more cards in their hand, because if they are stuck with this like small hand size and they don't get another Pokemon into play, they're never really going to be able to get ahead here. But yeah, they did go ahead and grab a Mew VMAX. They did Escape Rope to get their Mew out of play here. And then from there, I believe I just put my Sobble into play, because next turn we should be able to grab like a Scoop Up Net and then at least attack with the Leafeon. Now, I think they're going to put, yeah, the Meloetta. I always pronounce that wrong. Now, it's looking good for, kind of good for us. I mean, they do have 3 bench Pokemon now, but the way I'm looking at it, the Hoopa V is great for me because I can one-shot them because of weakness. So that's definitely something to note for possibly later in the match if it works out that way. But now they're getting their Pokemon down, and they're getting in at least Sparkle as well, so they're going to get 2 extra energy into play here. Now, I'm not certain who they're going to put that on. Okay, they just put both onto the Mew, which obviously is the smart decision there. We're going to go ahead and quick ball away one of the Leafeons, get ourselves a, I believe I'm going to Zigzagoon and pin that, I'm going to ping the, no, okay, that's the smart decision. Get a Sobble in play for next turn. So we're going to go ahead and Drizzile, grab the Scoop Up Net in the deck, and then we'll at least get a KO on the Meloetta. Oh no, we're going to go ahead and go for the Gusto here. Okay, I respect the play. We're going to get as many cards as we can in hand here. I mean, at the very worst, if we didn't draw the Scoop Up Net, we would just try to get it next turn. But yeah, we did grab the Scoop Up Net, so we're going to scoop the Drizzile back into the hand, have that for next turn to probably grab a boss, and then put good old Leafeon VMAX into action to take the first prize of the game. We already do have 120 on that Mew VMAX as well, so that is definitely good. They may have to try to shuffle it back into the deck at some point. So yeah, just taking a look here, they bring the Mew into play here, and they have Pokemon catchers. I think they run Pokemon catcher instead of boss, but I mean, I've seen that with quite a few of these decks, to be honest. They did flip heads, so they're just deciding who to bring into play here. I think they're going to just bring the Leafeon V, and oh, they brought out the Sobble, okay. I felt like they were going to bring the V just to take a knockout, but now seeing that they benched the Latias, I know that they're going to go ahead and use that Dyna Barrier move to knock out the Sobble, and then to prevent them from taking any damage next turn with the VMAX. Now we're kind of in a little bit of a hole here, but I think with a boss, we can go ahead and just boss the Genesect and get rid of it, and then we just got to try to get 3 more prizes somehow. If it wasn't for the Fusion Strike energy on this Mew, I feel like I would have this match in the bag, because next turn I would just ping the Zigzagoon and then try to ping also with the with an Inteleon, and then we would kill the Mew. But fortunately, that's not how it works. Now our opponent is going to Pokemon Catcher again, does not get it. I think they're just sitting down their hand to get more cards with the Genesect, and then from there they're going to go ahead and knock out with the Dyna Barrier. And Sobble is now, I mean, it's tied up at 5. So we're going to bring Leafeon into the match here. We top decked Inteleon VMAX. That's good. So we're going to make sure we lay that on a Genesect and not on the Mew, because with the Fusion Strike energy, it's not going to work. So now we'll get a knockout here as long as we grab the boss. So once we grab the boss's orders, we will get a knockout, and we will be up 3 prizes to 5 with only needing to KO one of the VMAXs, and we will have a game. So, bossing the, I think I was just checking deck there. I'm going to go ahead and evolve that Leafeon, stick an energy on there, and if I have a Sobble, I'm going to put it into play, which I do still have 1 left. Now we hit the boss on the Genesect, and we are going to go up 2 prizes on our opponent. I think I'm just trying to decide what and who to boss. So I believe I made the right play there by bossing him, because now we do 210, obviously, and we knock him out. I do have a few more bosses in hand, so that's what we're working around, is just trying to grab the boss. Because if we can obviously knock out 1 more Genesect, I may be able to just ping on the Latias, and then we would win the game. So our opponent here is, I mean, they're in a little bit of a hole, but with Mew, you're never really in a hole because you can kind of just get all the cards you need and then just kind of go from there. So our opponent is going to Pokecatcher again, hit Tails on it. So yeah, I mean, I'm not certain what their play is going to be here. Okay, they're going to go ahead and get rid of the hand. They must not have anything that they liked there. You see, I checked their discard pile to see exactly what cards they have left. Now, from here, next turn, I'm going to more than likely just draw a Drizzile and draw another boss and then knock somebody out. And if we do get another Inteleon to play, I'll basically end the game in 3 turns because I'll just ping the Latias even if I don't draw my last boss from prizes. So our opponent is really digging, grabs the Fog Crystal. I think they're just going to stick an energy somewhere or just burn it. Okay, and they just burned it. Looks like they're shrinking the hand. They are going through their cards really fast, so there's a potential that they may even deck out. But I guess we'll see in the next few turns here if they do. Alright, so our opponent is still stuck here with the Galar Mine. They're down to 6 cards. Okay, so they do get the old cemetery. That's huge for them. I mean, we're still liking our chances though, because if we grab the boss, we can go ahead and grab the Hoopa, knock him out, and then the Latias will be able to get KO'd with quick shooting in a couple of turns. Our opponent is still 2 or 3 turns away from winning the game, so I feel like we're pretty comfortable right now. So I did top deck the Inteleon, so we're going to go ahead and ping them both, and then boss the Hoopa, and that should be all she wrote. Yep, should grab the boss if I play it smart here, and I do. So we'll be able to kill Hoopa, put 40 on the Latias, and then even if our opponent decides to hit us with Mew and get a knockout, he's still not going to have enough time before I can quick shoot the Latias to win the game. So we're going to win in 2 more turns. And our opponent at best would win in 2 turns. So this is just going to be it here. We're going to boss that Hoopa, and it will be all she wrote. Now, we're obviously going to double and take a little bit of healing while I can. Now, our opponent would obviously bring Mew forward, but we're going to go ahead and... I don't believe I drew the boss here. I did not. My last prize card is a boss, but we can still ping the Latias and win in 2 turns. Because our opponent will knock out the one VMAX and cannot kill my other VMAX in time. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. So next match here, we are getting matched up with an Eternatus deck. Eternatus has been making a slight comeback in meta just because, I mean, it isn't that bad, especially mixing in with like an Umbreon and Moltres as well. Plus, Mew is weak to Dark, so you have a favorable matchup versus Mew. Now, our opponent has I believe our opponent's going first here, and we took a mulligan, but we did draw a Sobble and a Capture Energy and Quick Ball, so we should get enough cards into hand next turn. So, I mean, things should look all right for us. Now, yep, our opponent has a Crobat to begin. They do put an energy on the Crobat, I believe, just to be able to get him out of the active spot next turn. And our opponent just put a Galar Mine into play, which for us, that is totally fine because we run Galar Mine, so it is nothing that we really have to worry about. So our opponent had a pretty decent first turn. They got 2 Eternatus into play and was able to use a Crobat. But we're going to go ahead and bench a Sobble and 1 more Sobble because I know that we have Research and Marnie in hand, and then I'm going to Quick Ball away a Research because that's going to get us our first Leafeon, and then I'll go ahead and Capture Energy for another Leafeon, and then I believe we just Research to get a bunch more cards in my hand. I was hoping to draw a Quick Ball and a Evolution Incense, which we did, so things are looking good. We're going to ping the Eternatus with the Big Charm, just because we want to reduce the hit points or whatever hit points are left on that Pokemon by as much as possible, and then we just pass it on over. Now, we do have a Fan of Waves for this deck as well that can definitely come in handy if they do use the Hiding Energy, because with the Hiding Energy, it basically makes the retreat 0, so Leafeon's attack that's based on retreat won't do anything. Super unfortunate. Obviously, that's how it works out, but that's why we do have the Fan of Waves, as well as we do still have a 170 move that we can use to attack. It can definitely still come in handy. Now, we did top deck a Level Ball and did get a Leafeon VMAX here, so that is very good. I did prize my Scoop Up Net, so I'm basically needing to just um, sacrifice this Sobble that's in the active, which our opponent should take them in a turn or so. And then I believe I will grab a Tool Jammer, stick that tool obviously on the Leafeon, so the big charm is null and void. I think I'm just checking what I have here. Okay, so we're going to grab the Energy Search. We're going to put that on our Leafeon V, and then we will go ahead and evolve, or just greening cells. Okay, so I green cell just because our opponent might boss one of these Leafeons, and I'd rather them take 2 prizes by killing one than to put 270 damage, or possibly more, on a VMAX and take 3 prizes the next turn. So yeah, our opponent here is going to, I think, fill their bench up this time. They do have the Crobat. I think they're digging for a switch. Clearly, if they grab the switch, they will be able to knock out the Sobble, and they are very good. Basically, very good if they can get the prize. But the way I'm thinking about it is, if I can Inteleon either for like a Fan of Waves or just evolve one of the Leafeons, we can go ahead and put a lot of damage on this Eternatus there, potentially even just knocking it out. So they are going to research. I believe they're just digging for an energy. They did get that hiding energy, so yeah, that is very unfortunate for me. But I feel like I put a Leafeon into play. I should be able to Inteleon for 2 things that I would need here. 1 being the Fan of Waves, and 2 being probably a Tool Jammer. And then we're pretty close to knocking out our opponent. I think we'll be like 30 short, I think. So I do grab both of those. That's definitely good. And then I believe we just put that energy on the benched, and then we will go ahead and research away. So the max leap for 170 can come in handy, especially now that I'm out of Fan of Waves, and we obviously know our opponent will probably runs 4 hiding energies more than likely, probably for just this case scenario, because they run Galar Mine. Now, we did stick a boss orders here just to have that for future turns, and then we should be able to lay 300 there. So the way I'm thinking about it is basically if we got our Scoop Up Net, we should win in a couple of turns. They did get the other Galar, they did get another hiding energy on their Eternatus, which that could prove problematic if I don't play this right. So they're going to go ahead and bring another energy onto Moltres. We do know that we're pretty close to winning. All we have to do is knock out 2 Eternatuses. Now, our opponent does use the boss orders just to reactivate that big charm. So now their Eternatus is at 370 hit points, which definitely is really bulky. But we still have the Tool Scrapper, so we're able to go ahead and get rid of that. And now here is where I do kind of mess up a little bit here. You can see with Max Leaf, I would heal a little bit and have an easy knockout. And then I'm looking at the bench Eternatus, and obviously if I ping them this turn and next turn, I will knock them out with the boss's order that I have in hand. Now, I do make a mistake here, misplay, it kind of stinks, but we did hit Grass, not forgetting about the hiding energy, instead of just taking the Max Leaf and getting for sure 3 prizes. Obviously, just a mistake. Clearly, just playing the game and going through the motions, and just making a mistake on it. But we still have a fighting chance at winning the game because we can still knock them out this turn, and then our Leafeon VMAX won't take. I mean, they'll take damage next turn, but not get knocked out. And then we should be able to knock out one of the Eternatus the following turn. So yeah, if our opponent does get a few hiding energies down, it could we could lose, but I still think we're ahead of the game, even though we're down, 4 prizes, because we are going to get a KO here, and me knowing I screwed up last time, I'm like, okay, yeah, let me go ahead and do the right thing here. We're going to Marnie, and then we still have a lot of bosses left, so it should be all right to get a Sobble into play and then dig for a boss. So we'll put energy on the Leafeon. Oh, we actually do not have any more Sobbles left. Looks like we prize another, but we'll go ahead and ping the other Eternatus. At the very worst, we should be able to just win in 2 moves. So I'll just go ahead and hit him with ult max leaf, take 3 prizes, and I think we'll be okay. Let's see what we get here. We did grab one of our 3 bosses orders and a quick ball, and go ahead and hit the Sobble. So even with the misplay, we should still win the game because they can't take 2 prizes here. They can boss one of my other guys and possibly win there. Aside from that, though, if they didn't have another hiding energy in hand, I'm going to win the game. And they're going to get rid of the Tool Scrapper, or Tool Jammer, sorry, with that Lipard. But yeah, they don't have a way to KO my Leafeon. So we are going to just boss and win the game here next turn because we're going to ping with the Inteleon on the benched Eternatus, bring him into play, easy KO. Basically just one shot here, pairing it with the Inteleon, and we're gonna get the W. So yeah, like always, let me know what you think about the video. I'm glad to be able to drop some again. I was pretty busy for a little bit, but yeah, like always, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. Peace.